Hi everybody, it's Tara again from Sojourn Psychology. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk a bit about some self-reflection that I have been noticing. And I guess as we're all going through the changes and the confusion and the chaos and crisis of this year, many of us are having to reinvent ourselves or notice things about ourselves that feel very different. Notice different emotions, notice different ways that we're struggling, or having to find different ways that we excel or we do well. I guess for me, as I notice my struggle, I've been having a lot of guilt show up. Now, when we notice the ways that we self-condemn, usually it falls into three categories, and this goes back, I'm going to reference, this is attachment literature, Circle of Security really focuses in on this. So we might notice it more as guilt, shame, humiliation, or embarrassment. And many of us will navigate more towards one as opposed to the other. So if we're a guilt person, when we're self-condemning, we're going to notice that more as guilt. Or we may have significant people in our lives who use guilt. Shame people, we shame ourselves. We have people who have shamed us as well. Humiliation and embarrassment people, we feel humiliated or embarrassed, overexposed, and more than likely we've had some sort of experiences that have evoked that experience as well. I'm not really a guilt person, I'm more of a shame person. So when I self-condemn, I usually shame myself. A lot of those, why did you do that? Oh, that is ridiculous, work harder, you don't have it together, those sorts of things. But I find in the pandemic, I'm noticing my self-condemnation is more guilty. I am not able to do some of the things that I could before. My life balance is off and I feel guilty. So when I spoke about acedia, that was really enlightening for me. I have really been struggling to have some sense of spiritual balance through the pandemic, and my personal conviction is that this is the time when I want to have spiritual balance and wellness in my life, but I'm struggling. It's so hard. It's like a mental block, or as St. John of the Cross would say, this sort of dark night of the soul, where I sense into this bleakness of what's going on in the world and what's going on for me personally, and it really makes it so hard for me to do those spiritual practices that I really care about. There's things that I really enjoy doing and I'm struggling. And then I give myself a good old guilt trip. So when we are self-condemning, guilt, humiliation, and embarrassment, shame, these are things that we do to ourselves. Now, back when I started my emotionally focused therapy journey, my very, very first exposure to this model and trainer was a woman, and her name is Lorrie Brubacher. She practices out of Winnipeg and Carolina somewhere. I think it's South Carolina. No, there's two of them. I'm pretty sure it's South Carolina. It might be North. I'll put it in the description. Lorrie's just this really cool, sweet lady. And something that Lorrie said is, when it comes to those hard criticisms that we're receiving from others, we're giving to others or we're giving to ourselves. She says, don't shame it, don't blame it, just name it. Now when I heard that, I added in, don't shame it, don't blame it, just name it. And something we know about blame in particular, and blame can be the way that we evoke guilt, shame, humiliation, and embarrassment. Blame is really something we use when we feel out of control. It's a strategy to feel powerful over someone, something, or ourselves. So when you're facing these difficult self-condemnations or experiencing condemnation from others, criticisms, you want to just give it to somebody, you want to condemn them, this powerful statement is very freeing. Don't shame it, don't blame it, just name it. We know this thing, right? We've talked about it before. We gotta name it to tame it, and go easy on ourselves. We're gaining some wisdom here so that we can carve out some space to be with ourselves and to draw other people into this space to be with us. Be with people however you can right now. Don't isolate. We need that emotional connection. Your phone is not your only friend. And if it feels that way, reach out and find a way to grab hold of someone else. Okay, you guys. Yeah, if you have any comments or questions, drop me a line in the comments, DM me, give us a little heart. All those things really are awesome, and I like seeing everybody interacting with our vlog. If you're not doing well, do reach out to your mental health support, or give us a call. If we're not the right fit, we can link you up with somebody else. Okay, you guys? Sojourn Psychology, we care about our community.